Outback Rangers.
I hope we've got the big one.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a croc in the trap.
The team succeeds in removing the last croc in Chang'e Falls in time for tourist season. Now, with thousands of visitors arriving in Kakadu, they have their work cut out for them. In this episode, Kakadu's search and rescue teams are out in full force as they race to a highway accident scene.
Unfortunately, it can be a common occurrence on this road.
While rangers hunt down illegal poachers.
I think that you have committed an offence under the Commonwealth Base.
Taking them, mate.
Before gathering all their resources to rescue the injured. They're about to face their toughest challenges in this harsh danger zone. Kales Crossing, East Alligator River. A busy spot in Kakadu, attracting hundreds of anglers each year. But they're not the only ones casting a keen eye on the waters. Veteran ranger Gary Littner is also keeping watch.
This area here, this time of year, just before the wet starts, there's a massive build-up of crocs. So you're talking about 100, 120 crocs within a 2-kilometre stretch of this river.
This spot is one of the highest croc-human interaction areas in Kakadu, making it one of the highest risk areas in the park.
Apparently they say don't go near it, but we were pretty close to it before.
In this small stretch of river, a face-off with a mighty beast could be a death wish.
Well, in 1987, there was a guy taken off this crossing. He walked across and a large crocodile about 4.5 to 5 metres grabbed him and killed him. And then in 2002, we had a young lady swimming in deep water about 11 o'clock at night, and she was taken by a 4.6 metre male saltwater crocodile. And we've had a lot of near-death incidents as well.
But crocs are not solely to blame.
But most of the time, those things have happened as a result of behaviour from people. People are still not getting the message. Like up here, we've got a group of adults, and you've got a small child there with them. He's about a 12-year-old boy. And as we've just passed, there's a large saltwater crocodile on your right here, sitting on the bank. And there's also one behind you, and these people are standing in about ankle-deep water. If you're not paying attention, it could be all over in a couple of seconds, you know. People have just got to get a lot more savvy and awareness.
The Australian bush can be a dangerous place, and Kakadu is no exception. And crocs aren't the only risk. Jabiru headquarters, 9 a.m. Fire Station Officer Steve Anderson receives an emergency call. The Arnhem Highway stretches over 200 kilometers long. Each year, thousands travel this road from Darwin for up to 3 hours to reach Kakadu. The long distances, wildlife, and unpredictable roads mean serious accidents occur in the area.
We haven't got much information. It was just that it was a single vehicle rollover, and that's about as much information as we've received yet. Coming into this time of the year, we've got lots of road crashes.
Keep going back. Keep going further off the road, better. We're led to believe that they were Asian tourists. Driver fatigue, apparently, just nodded off. Unfortunately, it can be a common occurrence on this road. Especially during the dry season, we have a lot of tourists, and quite often some of them are not used to long distances with travelling. Unfortunately, this can be a result.
For Kakadu's paramedic team, led by nurse Richard van der Veerdonk, it's a busy time of year.
Sometimes different things can be a bit overwhelming, especially, if there's multiple people involved and injured or worse. Again, that responsibility falls directly upon you, and you need to work out how you're going to deal with these situations.
We actually had some people that actually eyewitnessed it. They actually seen the car spinning in the air. They've been conveyed back to the clinic for observation and checkup as part of their holiday wrecked for them.
Driving in the outback can be a dangerous business. Every year, people lose their lives on these roads. Kakadu's remoteness poses another serious problem: lack of resources. The solution? The crew relies heavily on locals.
We have a fantastic group of volunteers here and they do an amazing job. They put themselves in situations that are quite traumatic often. You know, it's something that really lifts the soul to see people who are prepared to step out and to really help other people out of the goodness of their heart and at really difficult times.
For those who finally make it to Kakadu, the park's incredible wildlife is theirs to enjoy. 4-mile hole waterway, 7 a.m. Dozens of fisherwomen have arrived for an all-female angling competition, the Broads Barra Bash.
Today, the last day of the Broad Barra Bash women's fishing comp. It's the biggest sport up here. As you can see, there's 60 women out here today.
Today's prized catch, the famous barramundi. A predator of the wetlands, the barra is one of the world's greatest sport fish.
We've got the best billabongs, the barra, we've got the blue water and all species out there. It's great.
Oh, bye, beautiful.
But Kakadu's calm waters also attract its fair share of troublemakers. Since the creation of the park, a small group of people have been attempting to exploit Kakadu's bounty. Poachers. Most operate in the coastal areas of the park, where a single day's catch can yield thousands of dollars. It's a high-risk game that can land them behind bars, but the huge returns mean many keep coming back. Rangers Gary Lidner and Andrew Wellings act as law enforcement officers, carrying out surveillance exercises. If they're not careful, things could easily turn violent, especially under the cover of darkness.
It's extremely hard to catch someone in the act illegally fishing or poaching. You basically have to be there when it happens. It means a lot of surveillance and not being detected when you're doing it. It's like catching a bank robber in the act.
October the 16th, 2003. Rangers were out on a surveillance mission looking for poachers.
A few years ago, we were just observing a vessel outside the park, and then we heard a dinghy and we saw a light of a person working a net, which appeared to be in the park. And then we decided to go.
The Rangers knew the only way to catch them was to chase them down.
We just went full speed and they took off as soon as they heard our outboard motors, you know. They were on full throttle on the plane, fleeing back to their mothership to get held for leather outside the park boundary.
Okay, just turn your vessel around, mate. Open it quick.
Yes, sir, Gary. Yeah. The funny thing was that this gentleman was only spoken to about a month earlier by Gary doing his normal daytime compliance work, so they were already familiar with each other and welcomed each other.
What were you doing over here with the spotlight on?
I was looking for my lost net. I've lost it this afternoon.
And as we later found out, there was still a gill net set well and truly inside Kakadu. So they were just on a poaching exercise and they got caught.
Commercial fishing has been banned in Kakadu since the national park was established in the 1970s. If convicted, perpetrators could face a fine of over $100,000 and a lengthy jail sentence.
Have a good day, eh? That's it, mate. Yeah. Bring up park headquarters.
Don't get me wrong, there's some really good people in the industry, but there's some that are really disengaged. They're very good at what they do. They're good fishermen, but they're also very good poachers. They travel at night with no spotlight whatsoever. They travel at low tide in total darkness. So you've basically got to match their ability if you want to catch them.
It's fairly unlikely we'll see them actually poaching in the park in the middle of the day, but they have come in with their nets and dinghies, set them up, get a boatload of fish and roar out on the cover of night. We've had a number of successful prosecutions getting out there and catching them in the act.
Andrew Wellings remembers plenty of high-risk operations, but one daytime operation several years ago is firmly etched in his mind.
Stay there, mate. Don't move. Just want to talk to you.
Yeah. Where am I going, idiot?
Yeah, well, that's all right. Just don't want you to go inside. Now, look at me. I want to show you something.
Yeah?
My name's Andrew Wellings.
Good on you.
I'm a warden.
No comment.
Okay. Just hang on, mate.
Hey.
Just hang on.
Hey, I haven't given you permission to come aboard
I don't
here.
care. I'm a warden under the Commonwealth Government, and I've got an authority to board your boat because I think that you have committed an offence under the Commonwealth
You think you're taking them, mate?
That's right.
You meet some colourful characters when you're doing this work, and some of them are quite volatile.
Right, we've got to do our job. You're in Kakadu National Park.
All right,
Commonwealth
hero,
Reserve.
steady up.
Yeah, well, you steady up. Quite a bit of action happening around his boat, so I suppose he was probably a bit shocked about that.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
Well, I'm coming on board then. I had a fair idea he was going inside just to hide whatever he wanted to hide.
Stay out there.
When you do a boarding, it's important for him to look after my back and equally me look after his back. You've got to remember that we're offshore about 5 to 10 kilometres from one of the coastal islands. If something goes wrong, someone gets hurt, you're probably 5 to 10 hours away. Once the sun goes down, you're on your own.
Yep.
The search and vessel, obviously looking for evidence, nets, traps, spears, guns, protected species. We booked him for everything we could. They had 120 pots set with bait and taken all the crabs out of Field Island. But what he got, I think it was about $15,000 in fines. Lost 2 dinghies, all his crab pots. At the end of the day, you'd be looking $30,000, $40,000 or something like that. Commercial fishing is prohibited within the Commonwealth Reserve. So, from this point on, you don't have to say anything, and anything you do say or do may be used in evidence against you. Do you understand what I've just said to you?
I understand.
We understand there's some more pots in this area. We're going to seize those pots. I'm going to ask you to give me a hand to pull them up.
No way.
Okay.
Go get.
Right.
Write that down.
For Gary and Andrew, their job is far from over. The battle to protect Kakadu's waters continues.
The park's serious. We're serious. We're working close with Northern Territory Police under a jailable and significant penalty. Bang, if we're here, we won't be mucking around. We'll go and get them.
Hundreds of tourists are arriving in Kakadu. While visitors have a good time, rangers are on high alert. Rangers need to make sure that visitors stay safe in this harsh landscape. Jabiru headquarters. An emergency call comes in.
Kakadu National Park headquarters. Please state the nature of your emergency.
I have a guy who weighs about 140 kilos, maybe fractured his ankle.
The call is from a tour guide at the remote Chang'e Falls.
Is he able to put any weight on his leg over?
He's in a lot of pain, so I was going to try and move him, but he's a very big guy, so I think I might need some big muscle assistance. He's a bloody big bugger.
The only way in and out fast is by chopper. Kakadu's seasoned pilot Owen Webb steps in to assist. In this rough terrain, a rescue mission of this sort can be challenging.
Access, in this case with turbulence and maintaining safety within the chopper, becomes quite a skilled process for the pilots. Anything as we're landing can severely damage the chopper. I make the bandage on his feet and we walk some steps, but it was only possible to walk on the heel. But I'm just going to lightly
The tourist has suffered a snapped Achilles tendon. While the injury is not life-threatening, Richard is not taking any chances.
Okay. We're just going to get you back to the clinic, take the strapping off and have a better assessment.
Okay. I just climbed on the rocks and tried to go across.
Yeah?
Because the sand is really, really hot.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to...
Dehydration, snake bites, and heat exposure are just some of the dangers that threaten visitors to Kakadu. The nearest hospital is in Darwin, an hour away by helicopter. So a small problem can easily turn into a big issue in Kakadu.
In tourist season, there's a lot of dehydration. A lot of people are not drinking enough and presenting dehydrated. People getting lost, someone bitten by a snake or whatever it is. So a typical day changes every day. It's impossible to know what lies ahead.
100 kilometers away at South Alligator River, there's news of a victim. Only it isn't human. A dead saltwater crocodile has been found at the upper reaches of the river. Gary heads out fast to the scene. His partner today, Indigenous Ranger Jonathan Nagy. Survivors of the dinosaur age, saltwater crocs are a protected species in Australia. So every death demands a crucial investigation.
Croc here somewhere you can smell him. Just keep your wits about you.
Just a few days ago, rangers caught people camping illegally less than 100 meters from this spot. Gary suspects foul play.
It's in close proximity to a camping area where people were fishing. That's a suspicious part about this situation with the dead croc. He might have come up near the campsite. Someone's got a rifle out and gone whack.
Killing saltwater crocs is a criminal offense that can land people in jail for up to 2 years and carries a maximum fine of $110,000. The rangers need to investigate.
Crocodile tied up now, and we're going to tow him up into the flat. And once we get him up there, we'll find a nice shady tree and have a look at him, see what happened to him. Oh, the smell's a big one. It's going to be with us for a while now. And yeah, could be with us for a few more days yet.
Clears my nose. No, it doesn't.
So we've got a 4.76 metre crocodile. He's a big male. You can see his penis coming out here. Big male bull croc. He could be up to 40 years old or more, These crocs are special. they well and truly earn their right to be, the boss croc. Because, being laid as an egg and then surviving all that way to be a 10-foot crocodile male is a very hard thing to do. To get to the next stage where he's a big bull croc, he's well and truly earned his right to rule that waterway, And then someone comes along one day and maybe ended his life with a bullet. It's terrible. One. Yep. There's a couple of things that make us think that he might have been shot. There's no bite marks on him. When you look at the animal, there's no obvious, wounds. Right.
Okay.
Yep. We want to see if he's got any bullet holes or bite marks either side of his body. Yeah, that looks interesting. That's a hole there. Yeah, that looks like it looks like a bullet hole right there.
A devastating discovery. If this croc has been shot, the criminal needs to be found. Gary and Jono must act fast before more lives are put at risk. Or could they have read it all wrong? In the next episode, rangers continue their fight to protect Kakadu and its native species.
I'd safely say you're probably looking at the last few remaining quolls. It's terrible.
In this rugged land, maintaining harmony between man and wild is a constant struggle.
Watch your head!
Nature is unforgiving, and in the battle to survive, some will come off as losers.